CM Punk just gave a major update on his return from injury at the post-WWE Clash at the Castle press conference. We're going to take a listen to exactly what Punk had to say there, what it means for WWE moving forward, what it means for Drew McIntyre, who is heavily involved in a story with CM Punk moving forward, and much more. We're also going to be talking about WWE opening up the forbidden door one more time to set up a major matchup between one of Japan's biggest stars and a former WWE World Champion. All that and much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so CM Punk has not been in action ever since the Royal Rumble. We all expected him to come back, have a big singles match back in WWE. It did not happen the way things turned out. He injured his tricep, his other tricep, I should say, at the Royal Rumble at the hands of Drew McIntyre. And we all thought that he would be out for a few months. It has been right around 5 months since he injured that tricep. But now Punk has given really the first comments hinting towards him becoming cleared. So post Clash of the Castle press conference, Punk gave the update. Here's what he had to say.
So I disagree with your sentiment. I'm happy to be here.
Fraser Porter from Cultaholic Wrestling. Just looking at an update on your injury status and how your recovery is going.
I've been cleared only for referee duty. I had a little bit of a hiccup out there, so we'll go back to the lab and we'll reassess. I can tell you that my arm feels amazing. I got permission to skip Raw in Corpus Christi, to go home to Chicago to see my doctors with the idea that I'm going to be cleared. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but throughout my career, saying stuff I'm not supposed to say has kind of done me well. So why stop now? I think SmackDown's in Chicago next week. So I'm a Raw guy. I'm going to skip Raw. I'm going to get cleared, and then I'm going to show up to SmackDown and let everybody know the good news.
That was CM Punk at the post-Clash at the Castle press conference, giving a pretty massive update on his return. He basically said that I'm coming back, and I'm going to be cleared. The idea is that he's going to see this doctor. This is the final step of him getting cleared, and then SmackDown, his hometown of Chicago, or Rosemont, at the Rosemont Horizon. He's going to let everyone know, hey, guys, I'm back better than ever. And I think from that, we are going to see exactly what we were likely going to see beforehand. I mean, we all knew that Drew McIntyre versus Punk was the plan. It got derailed over time and because of the injury. But this is about to be big business, not only for CM Punk, but for all of WWE. If you go back and you watch the ending of Clash at the Castle, the way the fans reacted, the way that many people watching at home reacted, it's clear that Punk got a lot of heat and Drew McIntyre got a lot of the sympathy. And part of the deal here, I think, is to make Punk at least lean into being the heel. And I think, personally, I would love to see him go full-blown heel and just be the biggest a-hole he can possibly be, because that is when CM Punk is at his best. And I said this in a recent fantasy booking video, which you guys should all go check out in the archives, where I said that they should lean into the sentiment and thoughts that many people had about Punk coming out of Brawl Out, that he was this narcissist, that he was this, kind of old head wrestler who doesn't appreciate what the new generation is doing. And I think that there's a lot of money in it. It's money that AEW could never make with this storyline for a variety of reasons. They just, for whatever reason, could never get everyone in the same room and make that stuff happen. WWE has a chance here to capitalize on it, do some massive business, and again, do what AEW was unable to do. And as far as like Punk coming back, I mean, this is someone who's coming off of a second tricep injury. Of course, it's the other tricep, not the same one that he injured at All Out. But at the same time, I mean, I think this whole process has kind of been almost a bit of a learning lesson for WWE. I mean, I don't even want to say that because it's not like they had Punk coming out and wrestling every week. He wrestled one singles match with Dominic Mysterio at Madison Square Garden in December, which was his first match back from after he returned to WWE, and then he wrestled in the Royal Rumble. So it's not like they were having him come out. It's not like he was, overworked or whatever, but for whatever reason things turned out the way they did. I think it's just even the more reason. Make sure that Punk is not wrestling week to week because, again, this is someone who's 45 years old, has a lot of wear and tear on his body, took a long hiatus at one point. Injuries are going to happen. You want to minimize the potential for them happening by minimizing the amount of matches that he has. He's not someone who should be wrestling on weekly TV. As great as that would be, and as much as I would love to see that, I don't think that it's feasible for where Punk is, for where WWE wants him to be, and for honestly, where they have positioned him to be. They have positioned CM Punk to be on a main event level, to be a main event draw that he is, and, he doesn't need to be wrestling. Have Punk come out and cut a promo every week, get him riled up, have people, tune in to watch Punk, have people buy tickets to see Punk live, but he doesn't necessarily need to be doing a match every single week, and I think this injury kind of reinforces that. I will say this, great that CM Punk is getting cleared. I think that it opens the door for a lot of possibilities, but more so for that Drew McIntyre matchup that I think everyone really wants to see at this point. So we'll see what happens there, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section as we move on to our next topic. This is certainly an interesting one because, guys, WWE has done it once again. They've opened up the forbidden door. It was announced this past weekend that Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan will feature former WWE World Champion AJ Styles in a match with Nomichi Marufuji, one of the biggest legends in Pro Wrestling Noah history, a 4-time GHC champion. He is someone who is just, if you haven't seen him work or his work in either Pro Wrestling Noah or his very brief stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he had a great match against Tanahashi at one point, highly recommend you go check him out. Go watch him on YouTube because what he can do with AJ Styles in the ring is just insane. And this is like a dream match that no one really knew they wanted. For those of you who actually watch like Japanese wrestling, you will be very familiar with the style that Noah has put out there over the last number of years. And AJ is AJ. We all know that, but it's gonna be a great match. This is a shocker. I want to say this. The fact that WWE is, allowing talent like AJ Styles, like Io Sky, who's going to be on a Marigold show, I believe the same day, July 13th, it's crazy because under the Vince McMahon era, this type of thing would either not happen, or if they did allow, certain people to work, it would be, like something like Triple H appearing at ICW or Finn Balor appearing, at a British wrestling show. It would never be this level, like basically a main event pay-per-view level match for Pro Wrestling Noah, gifted to them with a main event level player. And I think that there is two reasons that WWE is doing this. Number one, I think it is to prove that AEW is not the only company that's able to break down that forbidden door. There is no coincidence that we are seeing all of these announcements happen right as AEW is about to have their Forbidden Door pay-per-view, a pay-per-view that I myself have criticized for being kind of weak as far as the vibe compared to previous Forbidden Doors. You have some great matches here, don't get me wrong. You have Jon Moxley and Naito, which is going to blow the roof off of the UBS Arena. But, at past Forbidden Doors, we've seen, we had multiple dream matches. Over time, you're always going to exhaust those. But it feels like this pay-per-view overall is less of a Forbidden Door and more of a AEW plus some New Japan guys. And that's fine. It still works. It's still great. I'm still going to be there. But WWE doing this feels fresh. It is fresh. It's newer. It's a new outlook. It's a new mentality towards wrestling outside of WWE. And I think that's part of the reason why they are going in this direction. That's why you see them working with TNA. That's why you've seen them work with GCW and get their name out there. They are all about building up the brand, building up their stars, and building up their reputation across the globe, which gets to my second point about why they're doing this. It is to build that global recognition. WWE a while ago had this idea to have an NXT Japan, an NXT UK, an NXT like Europe, and NXT everywhere, NXT India, all that kind of stuff. They wanted to grow the brand and kind of start their own promotions basically to dominate these different markets locally. And then the pandemic happened and they realized it was not as feasible as they thought it would be. So now the approach is, from a business standpoint, to use existing promotions to create a foothold and premiere your stars, promote your stars, and showcase them, and also make deals that are beneficial, I'm sure, to WWE. I'm sure over time, WWE is going to be able to really get a good foothold in Japan through this partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah, through a partnership with Marigold, a partnership that I believe was at least reported about a few months ago with All Japan Pro Wrestling. So I think that's what they're doing here, and that's part of the reason why they're open to having big stars like former world champions, Io Sky, AJ Styles, etc., appearing on these big shows. It's a crazy, crazy time in pro wrestling. CM Punk is returning. AJ Styles versus Marufuji. Who would have freaking thought that? There's a lot going on in pro wrestling, guys. And I'm here to cover it every single day of the week. So be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Happy Eid, everyone. Eid Mubarak to everyone celebrating today. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.